is not here. The very black men that we march for on a daily basis, they are absent. And while I know what I am about to say may offend, it is truth. In 1851, Sojourner Truth got on a stage and spoke to the fact that she was and said, "Ain't I a woman?" And she said, where there is much racket, there must be something out of kilter. And by the lack of black men present here today, something is clearly out of kilter. As a black woman, I am tired of marching day after day. I am tired of 18 years in the classroom of teaching equity to young black and brown students. While often we think that only white men can be the oppressors, that is not true. Because bell hooks reminded us that white women and black men can have it both ways. They can too be the oppressor. One for sexism and the other for racism, yet black women continue to show up. It is not enough for us to take to these streets and march and rally and take a knee to demand justice for those experiencing the realities of police brutality. We must also stand up and fight for the subtle examples of systemic racism that fall on the shoulders of black women through the healthcare system. As we know, black women experience maternal mortality at 3 times the rate of their white counterparts. We must recognize that black girls are 5.5 times more likely to be suspended from schools than their white counterparts. We cannot just take a knee for racial injustice when it comes to arrests, when it comes to police brutality. This year alone, 20 transgender, gender non-conforming persons in the United States have been murdered. That is what we need to take a knee for. It is not enough for all of you to sit here if you do not do your homework, if you do not go to the polls, and if you do not actively ask your employers, how are we creating equity? Black trans women should not have to work on the streets as sex workers. Although that's their right, they should have access to jobs. Black mothers should not have to compromise daycare or a place to live. They should be paid equally. And to be quite frank, it should not be on these beautiful black women to organize events like this. I challenge all of you to ask all the black men in your life, where the fuck are you showing up? How are you showing up for black women? Because it is not enough to hashtag. It is not enough to retweet. We need you to take it to the streets, to take it to your office, to take it to your dinner tables, and have a conversation with the younger generation of black men so we can reduce the number of approximately 8 million black women who will experience rape in their lifetime. We cannot continue to march. We cannot continue to take a knee, and we cannot continue to protest until we start doing the work at home. Yes. Which means healing our own communities in ways that are uncomfortable, in ways to confront transphobia, homophobia, intimate partner terrorism. When you consider that black women will experience domestic violence at a rate 35% higher than their white counterparts, that we are at risk of dying by the gun not from a rival gang, rather our potential partner. It is up to us to start asking the hard questions, looking in the mirror, and I'm looking at every single one of you sitting here today. And I am holding all of us accountable for the work that has to be done. It is not comfortable, it is not easy, but let me tell you